Hello everyone and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. As you may notice, this video is not on simplified openings. I decided to call it Simplified Strategy. And the reason for this is something that I will explain now. I'm pretty sure you have heard the statement that modern chess has changed from the, let's say, olden days. Now, what does this actually mean? I think more exact is to say that modern time controls have changed chess. And by modern time controls, I obviously mean shorter time controls. With shorter time controls inevitably lead to the inability of the players to spend more time to think at certain points in the game. This in itself leads to decisions that may not always be the most optimal ones. In fact, very often, shorter time controls mean more shallow play when it comes to chess strategy. Because what is actually chess strategy? At least to my mind, it's something that I associate with the games of, let's say, Botvinnik or Rubinstein, where they would spend good 45 minutes figuring out all the intricacies in the position, exact move orders, understanding what the essence of the position is, and then playing in a pretty precise manner to take advantage of those intricacies in the position. But how is that possible nowadays? Well, as you may have guessed it by now, it isn't. So what happens nowadays is that chess has gone in the direction of increased importance of tactics and tricks, even more increased importance of time trouble, or lack of it, and decreased importance of strategy, especially long-term strategy. Now, I think recently we had two tournaments, Norway Chess and the Grand Chess Tour, where the players after move 40 did not get any additional time. That means that the starting time they had at the beginning of the game, normally it would run out or almost run out around move 40, and from that moment onwards they would be in eternal time trouble. How can you possibly figure out a winning plan in let's say a winning endgame if you get it by move 40 or 45 or somewhere at that point if you play on 30 seconds? Well, it's impossible. And I remember, for example, Caruana losing a dead drawn, basically endgame, to Magnus Carlsen in Norway Chess, a game he would never really lose if it weren't for his eternal time trouble, and failing to win against Wesley So, a position that he would normally win at the Grand Chess Tour, spoiling the win and drawing the game. So this basically means that nowadays you should avoid the time trouble as the plague. And also it means that a more practical approach when it comes to chess strategy and chess, let's say, understanding of what is optimal should be applied. So the example I would like to give you today, the one you see on the board, even though it was played in the 70s, it is in fact taken from the first Korchnoi-Karpov match, their candidates' final match played in 1974. But I think it's a perfect example of what chess strategy means today. And it's also a perfect example how chess strategy should be applied today. So let's move on to the position and see what we have here. So the position is quite complex, as you could see. No pieces have been exchanged. White's last move was h4, introducing attacking ideas like rook h3, rook g3 perhaps, maybe h5, h6, maybe knight g5 and so forth. Black, on the other hand, has this tension in the center and has quite a few candidate moves to consider, whether that be taking on c4, taking on c3, playing bishop a6, playing c5, playing knight b d7, and you can easily imagine a player in the olden days thinking for, let's say, 37 minutes here and checking carefully all these candidate moves and then coming up with the pretty good solution. But nowadays that's simply not viable. You can't spend that much time in the beginning of the game, especially because then even if your plan or reply is a genius one, you will lose on time. So in a way you could say that Karpov was ahead of his time here, because what he did was exactly what modern players do when it comes to strategy today. So strategy today is nothing deep. Strategy today is very short term, and it's always seeks to perhaps not keep it simple, but rather keep it understandable. So the players try to achieve a position which they understand, which is clear to them, and they understand how it should be played. So what Karpov did here was that he embarked on a, I think, like a 4-move forced variation that gave him a clear-cut, simple position that he could play with without any risk. So what he did is that he simplified this very complex position that we see on the board to a one that is very understandable and easy to play. You may want to pause the video and test yourself here to see if you can figure out Karpov's solution. But if you just want to learn it what it is, just continue watching. So Karpov started with the move bishop takes c3. And this is the first step in the direction of simplifying the position. And the whole idea of Karpov and the line that he chose is actually of obtaining absolute control over the light squares in the center, especially the d5 square, and at the same time obtaining a good knight bad bishop situation on the board. So he first takes the knight on c3, that was controlling the d5 square. Korchnoi retook with the bishop. The engine suggests taking with the pawn, but that's really, well, not something a human would seriously consider. Now he continued with d takes c4, liberating the d5 square for a piece. Queen takes c4, and now bishop a6. The engine suggests h6 as the best move, but this is not how humans think or play. So bishop a6. This is a key move because it exchanges the almost last piece that white has that can control the d5 square. The only remaining one is the knight on f3, but it's very difficult for that on from f3 to be maneuvered to e3 or f4, from where it could control the d5 square. So bishop a6 attacks the queen moves to a4, bishop takes f1, eliminating the bishop that can control the d5 square, rook f1 and queen d5. There you go. 4 moves. 4 moves, all forced, no deviations, everything understandable, clear cut, simple as it can get. What do we have as an end result? We have a fantastic position for black, absolute control over the blockading d5 square, good knights, bad bishop on c3, and an advantageous position. So this is what modern strategy is. There is no depth here, there is no long-term planning, long-term understanding and so forth. No, simply there is no time for that. There is no time for that in modern chess, and that's why modern chess is about being practical, is about being tactically very astute, not missing things, not blundering things, keeping time on the clock, keeping time on the clock for the phases of the game where the game will be decided, and navigating these complex positional strategical problems in this manner, in a practical, understandable manner, even if that manner is not the best one according to the engine. Like I say, I specifically mentioned the move h6 earlier on because that's the engine's preferred move, but don't go for that. Keep it simple, keep it understandable, more understandable than simple, okay? And as long as it's clear to you, it's easy for you, it's understandable, that's the right solution in the given situation. So I hope that this short example, together with the short introduction of what modern strategy is and isn't, will be helpful to navigate your practical problems that you encounter in your games. So to conclude, I would just repeat what I just said, okay? Keep it understandable, keep it limited in what deviations can be encountered along the way, and avoid time control as the plague. Because even if you come up with something genius, you will lose on time, and then who will actually praise you for your genius plan or your genius strategy if you lose on time? Nobody really. Modern chess is about being practical, about the result, about winning. So I think in this way, just by staying attuned to the demands of the position, but in this practical, pragmatic approach, I think you will dramatically increase your practical chances in the games you play. So I hope this short video on simplified strategy is useful, perhaps shed some light on what modern chess is nowadays, and whether we like it or not, this is modern chess today. Short time controls, no time for deep strategy. So if you liked it, I do my stuff, smash that subscribe button and tell me what you think in the comments. I'm always happy to reply. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you soon, very quickly. Take care all.